Now, let's just have a quick look at some other functions, calculated fields. You can see that we have this equal sign in ABC. It's the equal sign I want you to focus on, because you can see this is also a calculated function, equals number. So let's have a look, let's edit this and see what they've done. So they're using the date diff. So that is returning the difference between two dates. So they want it in days between the order date and the ship date. And this actually reminds me more of SQL Server than it does Excel. But you can see the full list of date functions. You can have the year, the month, the day. You can have the name, you can parse it. So it has a full range of date functions. Now this one is going to be very similar, but this one uses, actually it translates the ship mode, which is a string, into a number. And again, this reminds me quite a lot of SQL Server. So case ship mode, and say when it's same day, then I want you to equal 0. When it's first class, I want you to equal 1. Just like SQL Server, it does also include an else. So the else could catch everything else. So if it's none of those, then we say 8, for example. Notice, just like SQL Server, there needs to be an end at the end. So discount, that's not a calculated field, but profit ratio is. Let's have a look at it. So sum of profit divided by sum of sales. So you must have those sums as we saw earlier, otherwise you might find the answer is not what you're expecting. Are sales above target? This is where we compare the sum of the sales with the sum of the sales target. So this is, instead of using the double IF, which we did earlier, this is using just IF. So if this, then this, else, and you can keep on going. Notice else if is one word, not two words. So that is SQL Server, it's not Visual Basic Fabrications where it's two words. Well, sometimes it's two words. So if, then, else if, and you need the end at the end. Sales forecast. So this is doing a mathematical calculation. We're not using the sums this time. We're looking at each individual row and saying what is the sales multiplied by 1 minus the churn rate. In other words, if 25% of people disappear, then we're going to expect the sales to be 75% of that, but then increase it by the new business growth. Sales per customer uses the count D, so that returns the number of distinct items. Notice just highlighting this, get to the answer. So that's different from count, which returns the number of items. Count D returns the number of distinct items. So you can see in this that there is a lot of scope to use calculated fields. We'll have a quick look at the number. We've got what you'd expect from Excel as well as other programming languages. So a few things that relate to trigonometry, degrees, a few things that round, like ceiling and round, and I imagine, yeah, there is floor, and some other functions like square root and so forth. If we have a look at the string, so we can find all the usual suspects. Replace, very useful. Trim, not SQL Server uses ltrim and rtrim, but Excel uses trim. So this is why I say it's a mixture between the two. It's not really one or the other. And you do have rtrim and ltrim, but there isn't actually a trim command. And we've got upper and lower to convert it from capitals to lowercase, or vice versa. We've already had a look at the date type conversion. Very limited type conversion needed. Logical, we've had most of them already. If and if and else if and end. So basically we've got the Boolean operators and or, and then we've got the actual things that operate on them, if, if, and case. Aggregation, these are all of the sums and count distincts, min, max, median, that sort of thing. User, that tells about yourself, whoever is using the Tableau program. And then table calculation literally is calculation on a table. So for instance, you can see the first number in rows or the last. And we've already used lookup. Lookup is a bit like an offset command in Excel. It's a bit like a rows command where you in SQL Server where you can go up one row or down one row. You've also got rank and dense rank, except here it's called rank underscore dense. And you can also do running sums and running counts and that sort of thing, which are useful for tables. And of course you've got the totals, but totals give a total for an expression. Generally you would use the aggregation. So the best way to learn all of these calculated field syntax is to actually investigate what other people have done. So I would urge you to go through each of these, have a look for any measures that include equal sign, click on them, click on edit, see what they've done.